be sharing how small tweaks in your UGC strategy can help you go from a few $100,000 a month to millions. Today, I'm going to show you how with these small tweaks, we can go from these results to the 3 million, or hopefully more. So that brings me to UGC 2.0, which is the era of authentic ads that sell. And a lot of the speakers here are talking about AI. I'm probably going to be the only one speaking about why AI is not the right place. So let's go into that. First, how did we end up here? Everybody knows that 2022 was the boom of UGC. Like, everything that was happening there was working. However, in 2023, the market started being saturated. People had to find weird ways to hook people, and they needed to be really creative. And unfortunately, in 2024 was a decline. Everybody thought that UGC is dying. A lot of people were asking in Bangkok, what is the future? Maybe it's AI. Oh, no. Do you know why it was happening? Because many times a day we see the same UGC ads. How many times a day do you see that? 5, 10, 20? I'm in the 20 mark. And basically, it led to the cookie cutter is dead. Cookie cutter UGC is not gonna make it for your brands anymore. But why? First of all, people are tired. They keep seeing the same ad over and over again. And also, second, they are smarter than we think. The way that marketing has always worked is people keep getting smarter. So you need to be more creative, and you need to find how to resonate with them. And lastly, everything is evolving. And especially with AI, a lot of people start getting more cautious. Are they consuming the content they actually want to? Is this content real? How many comments have you seen of people saying, oh, this is AI, I don't want to buy from this brand? Well, because of that, the future of UGC is authenticity. And that's how we created the UGC 2.0 blueprint. That's going to be worth it. But first, the basics. I'm going to give you 3 lessons before we jump into that, and they're going to be crucial. The first one, don't put your customers into boxes. And why am I saying that? Because I see a lot of people in the scenery that are making ads, and they're like, oh, we already know that our customers are 40 to 50 years old, women, and I'm only going to be making ads for them because that's efficient. However, this is the wrong mindset. The right mindset is, how do I make ads that resonate with bigger audiences? How do I make ads that are going to target more people? Because the only way to expand is if you expand your reach. Otherwise, the next is just going to, it's not abundant. Second one, think as a customer. And I'm saying that because, unfortunately, we tend to forget that this is not the customer journey. Well, in an ideal world, a person sees an ad, they click, they buy. However, it looks more like this. And it's a simplified version. We see an ad, maybe you click, you go for a run, you get an email, you go and get another ad. And, like huge brands spend 6 to 12 months to actually convert a customer. So don't forget that, because you're going to be thinking about the ads that are going to make your customers click. And also, a little secret, as I said, I'm very passionate about e-com. I speak about that all the time. But something that really helps me is I talk to people about my product, which helps me expand my horizons. That way, I learn their stories, and I even make ads about them. Because when you talk to people, you start hearing so many things that you might have never thought about. So talk to people about your products. And lesson 3, there is an ad for everybody. I heard that in Bangkok, and I resonated so much with it, I had to bring it up, because we tend to forget that different ads will make different people click. And sometimes an ad is the difference of like millions of purchases. So now that we have the basics clear, this is how we built UGC 2.0. Let's go into this. Step 1, learn UGC diversity. And we're going to have 4 pillars here: script, creators, formats, and style of editing. So the first, how do we diversify the script? First of all, we test and test and test many different scripts until we finally start noticing a pattern. We start noticing that some of the scripts, they have repeating things in them, like 12 times more effective. I'm in love with the design. UVC germ killing base. Free gifts, saw it on Facebook or saw it on the Today Show. Things that are repeating. You start noticing what stands out. Maybe some hooks are repeating, maybe the pain points or the USPs are repeating, maybe you have certain CTAs that make more people click, or maybe it is the order of your script that makes a difference. So you really need to start understanding what are the winning elements of your scripts. After that, something that's very, very important, basically the two most important things in my mind are finding out what scripts and what creators resonate and why. And then after that, now you know what parts are working in the scripts, you know what important things are for the creators, you gotta differentiate the format. And what I mean, you're gonna be testing a lot. You're gonna go crazy here. You might, like, for example, you had a storytelling, you're gonna try if the reasons why it works better. You're gonna make Ask AI, you're gonna make negative marketing, you're gonna make Ask Siri, or anything that you can think of, any trends you can think of, you are testing it here. Because it's gonna be important to understand, is it the script, is it the creator, is it the format, or like what elements are being combined and making you a winner. And after that, I know I'm being annoying by now, but you're going to be testing also the editing style. So you got to understand how many effects do your customers like. Also, what organics means. I cannot stress this enough. Organic means different things for different audiences. And if you're not adjusting your videos based on that, you are basically losing people. Because a 20-year-old girl is not going to react the same way as a 60-year-old man. And the organic would mean very, very different things for them. Another thing, what fonts and highlights. This makes such a huge difference. It's honestly a little bit insane. But also, you want to know what is the pace they like, and also what is music and sound effects, because nowadays, people are back to listening with sound effects, and they make a huge difference. And by now, you're probably, wait, this is getting complicated. What do I do with all this information, like all this diversification? There's so much going on. That's where we go to step 2. We build a creative loop. And how this works is first you start with a winning or decent UGC. You diversify, diversify, diversify until you find a new winning iteration. And from this winning iteration, you keep diversifying. You don't stop, guys. And that's how you create a new extended winner. And that's, by following this, you're going to extend the lifetime of your winners and also spend much more and get to more people. But here's the question. Do you want to put all your eggs in one basket? Because honestly, everybody knows this is going to fatigue. How many more months do you think it's going to be running? 1, 2, 3, if we're lucky. So no, you don't want to. So the options here, you either stick to what you know was working, which is this creative loop, or you keep expanding and testing and growing, because the name of the game is testing. So that's how we go to step 3, which is create a loop chain, or, as we say, UGC DNA. That's why it's a loop chain. You take the elements that are working, and you keep building and building up. Let's close the loop. How does UGC 2.0 work? First of all, as I said, we start with a winning creative, or a decent one. You diversify, 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 until you manage to finally build a creative loop that works. Again, diversification and building loop chains in order to expand the lifetime of your ads and also resonate with more audiences and bigger audiences. So, the best part of this one, it works for every single marketing niche because this is just a strategy. It's a strategy on how you approach your ads. Because, to be honest, making ads without being strategic is just a waste of money. And nobody wants to waste money, right?